Bear with us, bear with us. Shalom.
Yeah, we're good.
Here we go. All right, just let it pull. All right, so on my phone, we good to go. All right, hey, Shalom.
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 GMS Charlotte back at you with another live lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemal Shai. And before we get started with this lesson, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught us this truth. Double salutations to all you Akim out there laboring in the house of David, the elect, that's pushing his word with all truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Shalom to you, brothers. All right.
Shalom.
Want to get into this lesson, Lord's will. This lesson is edifying to the hopeful elect out there, man. This lesson is entitled "The Middle East, the Meeting Point of the Battleground, Prophecy." All right, and we're going to talk about that. Want to go into Ezekiel 38, Joel, the 3rd chapter, and some other scriptures that we have lined up here, just to show you that prophecy is in sync with real time, man. All right, and the scriptures say that the spiritual man judges all things. All right, and we're going to get into that because we're going to play like a good 5 minutes of this video. All right, but one of the beloved brothers out there in Tampa has shared this today, which sparked this lesson. There was another meeting at the Davos, however you pronounce it. All right, and it's entitled, which is spiritual. It's entitled "The Middle East, Meeting Point or Battleground." Right, and really, the so-called Middle East is the meeting point of the battleground. You know, of the battle of the war, which is Bible prophecy. Okay, because as we've been telling you through this proxy war with Ukraine, all right, it's going to spill over into the so-called Middle East.
That's
all right. The valley of Yahweh Shaphat is going to go down. So this is spiritual. It's almost like it's like they telling you without telling you, you know. That's why we said everything is spiritual, man, because we know it's going to lead to this point. All nations are going to be, you know, called over there into the so-called Middle East, if you will, for that final battle. All right, the war of Armageddon, World War III. Okay, America, nuclear destruction. Okay, so it's going to go down, man. So, Lord willing, this video is edifying, man. We're just going to play this clip, and we're going to get into some scriptures, make some points. All right, but it's all prophecy, man. When y'all brothers got anything, go ahead and chime in.
God, may I get a quick precept?
You got it, brother.
This is Proverbs chapter 21 and verse 1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord Yahweh, as the rivers of water. He turneth it whithersoever he will. You know, so here it is. We have these elitists of the Edomite hegemony having this conference, and they're blatantly telling you that the Middle East, you know, what they consider to be, they're questioning as a meeting point or a battleground. You know, it's ultimately a battleground. It's ultimately, right, the valley of Yahweh Shaphat. Okay, and these devils, you know, through the spiritual lens, we're able to see clear as day that this is the discussion that's being had at this panel right now.
And the Most High is setting the chessboard up, man. You know, he's lining all the pieces up to fall into place so that he can go ahead and enact his movie. You know,
right? That's right. Now, real quick before we go into the video, all right, these so-called Bible scholars, they all know that eventually, you know, this final war on the earth is going to be in this region, you know, and we're going to highlight these things throughout the lesson, man. So it's obvious, man, right? And it's all spiritual as we're getting into this lesson that they entitled that the Middle East, meeting point or battleground. All right, so let's get into it, and Lord willing, everything is edifying. All right.
Good afternoon, Your Highnesses, Your Majesty, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being with us on this very important session about the Middle East, meeting point or battleground. I'm honored to be moderating this session. My name is Mina El Arabi. I'm the editor of The National based in Abu Dhabi. and the National is proud to be working with the World Economic Forum on this session. Welcome to those of you here, but also those of you online following us. If you would like to comment on social media, please use the hashtag WEF23 and we'll get your feedback. So, it is an interesting time to be meeting and discussing the Middle East. Often when we come here to the World Economic Forum, we're usually talking about the problems of the region, and they haven't gone away. But it has been interesting during the time of the pandemic and immediately after.
And what is that region, real quick? Let's go into that, the so-called Middle East region. All right, let's pull that up. Okay, this has some maps up here. All right, the region of Turkey, Iraq, Syria, Iran, okay, Saudi Arabia, Israel, Lebanon. All right, this whole region is what they would consider. All right, and this is where it's all going to take off at, as we've been showing you. All right, at the beginning of this lesson. Okay, eventually, this is going to be the meeting point. All right, the meeting point to the battleground. All right, you have something out, go ahead.
Do you want to go ahead and get that, Joel?
Yeah, matter of fact, before we get that, Joel, that's beautiful. Hold on. Before we get that, I'm going to play a little bit more of that clip. Okay. But before we get that as well, let's bring this out. Quick news article, right? We're not going to fully go into it. Just read the heading here. All right. So this came out 2 days ago. Okay. Because as this panel is we're getting into, they're pretty much asking, for stability globally. All right. But that's not going to happen according to Bible prophecy, right? So this says, it's from the Sun. It says battleships, Russian warship with unstoppable 7,000 mile per hour hypersonic missiles sails towards U.S. and will soon be in strike range. All right. And why is all of this happening? Because, hey, we're at the point of this economy about to crash. Something major is about to happen, man. Right? America's getting ready to go to war. Okay. Here's another point. All right. Another article from the Sun. This came out today. It says massive maneuvers. America launches largest ever show of force with Israeli military. All right. The least of the flock shall draw them out, right? America launches largest ever show of force with Israeli military after showing off its most powerful helicopter. All right. So the spirit of war is out here. All right. The nations are mounting up. Right. It's the point. So let's play a little bit more and we'll grab that scripture. There's no denying it.
After where things seem to be at least simmering down, heightened tensions of the last few years have simmered down, but they haven't gone away. Conflicts remain, suffering remains in a number of countries, and ultimately that's what matters. How can we alleviate the suffering of those who are not here, who cannot give us their voice, but how can we come up with solutions? And we have 45 minutes to try to move on a couple of these issues. For me, as an Iraqi, what's on my mind is 2023 marks 20 years since the Iraq War. And for many, this is a significant milestone to assess what's happened in Iraq, in the region, but globally, geopolitically, what's happened. And so we also meet at a time of global polarization and concerns about the economic welfare of the world. We, as a region, are not disconnected. We are affected by what happens, and we also influence what is happening, both in terms of energy, people flows, knowledge flows, and perhaps we can hopefully bring some peaceful resolutions that can be replicated in other parts of the world.
So this is the purpose of the council, to bring forth a peaceful resolution, all right, to calm down these heightening tensions globally, man. All right, can you get 1 Thessalonians 5? Get that for me.
I'll issue for that. This is 1 Thessalonians 5, and I'm gonna start at verse 3. It says, "For when they shall say peace and safety."
No, just go ahead and start at verse 1.
Start at 1. Okay, 1 Thessalonians 5:1. "But of the times and the seasons, brethren, you have no need that I write unto you. For for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night."
Yeah, so we're not ignorant of the times this season, man. Soon as we saw the headline of this video of this Davos meeting, the Middle East meeting port and battleground, hey, your spiritual antennas went off.
Right.
Okay. This is it. This is why, just to make a quick point before you read on, this is why this article is out here. All right. We know once the Once the device, the MOTB, comes on the scene, guess what? Destruction is right around the corner.
That's right.
Right? Everything. Hey, this is going to be the region here. This is going to be. It's going to go down in the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, man. Go ahead, Doc.
I can add to what you said. Can you pull that the article you just had up? This is why this is all coming into play, because what you're seeing taking place all over the world is that the economic infrastructure is being destroyed.
Yep.
So we all know, according to Esau's playbook, when that happens, war normally comes after that to try to generate income, to try to generate money or whatnot. So
right,
what they're trying to do is collapse the world economy so they can bring forth a new infrastructure, which is going to be this MOTB system to pretty much, bring stability, because they know when they collapse the economy worldwide, you're going to have all type of, chaos ensue.
mm-hmm.
So this whole meeting that they're doing over there in the so-called Middle East is to try to, ease the tensions that the whole world is feeling, because they know that everybody is on the edge of their seat because they feel something big is about to happen.
Right. Can I read this before you go on? That's a good point. Let me read this before you go back to that First Thessalonians.
Mm-hmm.
So this is basically an extension of the video here, right? Excuse me.
Right.
All right. So this the water. So it says the Middle East meeting point or battleground Davos 2023 season recap. It says, as a region, the Middle East has endured its share of political infighting, social discord, and conflict. But does a new era of cooperation offer today's youth hope for a more stable and prosperous future? You see, this is the lingo that they're talking, as we're going to get back into that scripture. It says, while not insulated from global polarization and concerns about economic welfare in a wider world, the region has a huge potential that could be unleashed, which we know according to prophecy. But the point I wanted to make, okay, it says, speaking at the panel session on Wednesday, 18th of January at the World Economic Forum annual meeting at Davos, Prince Faisal bin Farhan Al Saud, Minister of Foreign Affairs of Saudi Arabia, expressed his optimism for the Middle East future. The point, he said, quote, we have clearly taken a decision to be a bridge for the East and the West, right? That's that global stability. Right. It says there is a lot of positive activity going on in the region, even with some of the challenges we continue to face, he said. You see? So that's the point. You got it, Priest.
This is back in 1 Thessalonians 5:3.
Yep.
But when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape.
Right. And look what's happening.
Right.
This whole council is a part of the narrative of peace and safety, man.
Right.
Okay. This destruction is nearer than what we understand, man.
Kind. Hey, man, because these devils, they're trying to, in one hand, they're trying to, go forward with their agenda, but they know we're in a time of information. So everybody has been made privy unto what this whole, Davos meeting is really about, man. So they're trying to, ease the tensions of the people by bringing forth this sweet talk so that the people's minds don't be racing to where they're going to rebel. But we know, according to prophecy, like the brother Tazwan just brought out earlier, Proverbs 21, about how the Lord is going to put the spirit on these damn nations to pretty much, begin to fight.
That's right.
So we understand that the stage is being set for that war. That's why that title for this lesson, or sorry, for this video, is so heavy, because it says the Middle East meeting. It says it's like the Middle East meeting point or battleground, because really the Lord is setting the stage for that to be the battleground for World War III, man.
Right. That's right. Let's finish it out and we'll get those scripts.
Mm-hmm. And so, for this panel, I have an incredible lineup. His Highness Prince Faisal bin Farhan Al Saud, Minister of Foreign Affairs for Saudi Arabia. His Excellency Deputy Prime Minister of Foreign Affairs of Iraq, Mr. Fuad Hussein, and Her Excellency Kajsa Ollongren, Minister of Defense of the Netherlands, and His Excellency Minister Mohammed Al-Assas, Minister of Finance of Jordan, and UN Special Envoy for Yemen, Hans Grunberg. Your Highness, I want to start with you. We have seen a slowing down of some of the conflicts of the region. There are moments of reconciliation, some conflicts remain. How would you assess this moment in the Middle East?
Well, I want to choose to be very optimistic about this moment in the Middle East, and this session, Battleground or meeting space. I think the Middle East is proving to be very much the meeting space of the world right now.
You see what he said? That's spiritual. He said that the Middle East is pretty much the meeting space of the world, right? That's spiritual because all the nations are going to meet there. That's where that battle is going to take place, man.
That's right.
You know, it's all spiritual. Let's go back.
The intersection between East and West, we have clearly taken a decision to be a bridge for the East and the West, and there is a lot of positive activity going on in the region, even with some.
And that's the point. You know, we'll leave it there. You know, he said that the Middle East is the meeting point of the meeting space of the world, and they want to bridge, you know, that tension between the East and the West, right? But it's not going to happen. There should be no peace to the wicked, the scriptures say. All right, that's Isaiah 48. No peace to the wicked, man. All right, this system is going out with the violent destruction. You know.
And the Lord is putting the spirit on Esau to pretty much, you know, just poke at all these other nations through his, you know, sanctions and whatever other actions that he's doing, to where these nations are going to be left with no choice but to come against Babylon, man.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the midst of peace, all right, you're having Babylon pretty much, you know, be the ones that decide what is peace. Yep. And he's crippling these other nations, man. You know, with the sanctions, the whole thing with the war with Ukraine, you know, he's funding that war over there. He's messing up different countries over in Europe and whatnot, man. So these nations they're going to be left with no choice but to do backdoor deals with Russia and China, because they see that the support of America is not benefiting them anymore, man.
That's right.
You know?
I got something after you.
Go ahead.
Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse 8. Salakia, verse 7. Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord Yahweh's hand, that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. You know, so they partook in drinking the wine, the philosophies, the Western way, and coming up under Esau's hegemony.
Right.
And now you see the times that we're in right now. These nations are of no benefit. They're not reaping any benefit any longer. It's really hurting them.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a clear example of what you got going on in the EU.
Mm-hmm.
You know, them countries are struggling for their access to natural resources. You know, because that land over there is barren.
Yeah.
So they don't have the access that they once did when they had the Norris pipeline.
Yep.
And then they were establishing the second pipeline, but that got bombed.
Yep.
And the reports came out that America was behind it.
Yep.
So America has been really fucking over these nations, and it's been an ongoing thing. But now we're starting to reach the climax, the tipping point.
And this is why you got nations making backdoor deals with each other, man. Like I was listening to the Elder Malcolm and the brothers in Chicago. That's why you got things like the BRICS, and they call them the BRIC Squad, you know, linking up, because they see that they have to align within themselves. This is why you have Esau put things out like this to try to ease the mind of the people, mm-hmm. to where they're not worried about where this is headed.
Right.
Prophecy is letting us know that that's nothing but a facade, man. You know.
That's right. Let's grab that Joel.
Yep. Start at the top.
Yeah, Khan. Hold on, real quick. Let me put us in the screen real quick here.
Khan. This is Joel chapter 3, verse 1. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem.
So we're in that time of what? Of the salvation of the elect.
That's right.
All right. This is the time where the Lord is going to bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. He's going to turn back our captivity. All right. It says the nations will be judged, right?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Yeah. My title of my sword, it says judgment on Israel's enemies.
Yep.
It says, I will also, verse 2, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down to the valley of Yahweh-Shaphat.
You see that? I will also gather all nations, and I will bring them down into the valley of Yahweh-Shaphat. Let's pull that up. All right. This is the region. All right. The valley of Yahweh-Shaphat, the so-called Middle Eastern region here, man. All right. That's why it's not a coincidence through the Spirit that they entitled the Middle East. They're having a council in Davos about, easing the global tension that's going on through the Middle East. Meeting point or battleground. You can't say that's not spiritual, right?
That
So you
shows you
got
they listening.
right.
That shows you they listening, man. Because where else would you get the idea of that being a battleground, man? That comes from nothing else but the scriptures, man.
Con. Point blank period. You got it, bro.
I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Yahweh-Shaphat, and will plead with them, and there it's like I will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land.
Right. So the Lord is doing this for his heritage, for his people. All right. This is the vengeance. This is the vengeance of the Lord that he's going to avenge his people with, man. This World War III, right? All that fought against Jerusalem. Matter of fact, hold where you at. Go to Zechariah 14 and 12, Baba Kusha.
Got you. Zechariah 14 and 12. It says, and this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem.
Whoo!
Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth.
Hey, that's the nuclear destruction, the second death. And this is the plague where the Lord is going to smite all the people, all the nations that have fought against Jerusalem. You see? This is the Lord's vengeance, man. He's doing this for us.
That's right.
We at the end, man.
That's right.
Right? You got that. We go back to Joel. Just wanted to make that point because he said, look, I will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. All right. Hey, all nations were involved in the destruction of Jerusalem, man. You could read about the crafty council in Psalms 83. Okay, in Psalms the second chapter, man.
You can get that. Because that's a good point to bring out, because that shows you that all these nations are in cahoots with each other, man. You know?
Yep.
I got that for you real quick. You might as well bring it out.
Go
This
ahead.
is Psalms 83 and 1. Keep not thou silence, O Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head. And that tumult being that secret counsel, which I'm going to read verse 3 before I go into it. It says, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones, because in the midst of that whole Davos meetings, all these world leaders are getting together to discuss this, this whole plot to enslave the whole world. So in the means of so-called peace talk, they ultimately come together to pretty much enslave the planet. All right. So it's no coincidence why, once again, they're saying for that to be the meeting of a meeting point or battleground, because Esau is preparing this wicked sacrifice. Because when you go into that area that they're at, if I'm not mistaken, because Davos, that's in Sweden, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yep.
Davos, Switzerland.
Yeah, Switzerland, Slovakia. They said that that's the highest, point in that country over there, man. So they're preparing to offer a wicked sacrifice, man. All right.
Yeah.
So what they're trying to do is pretty much bring forth this new world order, but to the public, they're trying to make it seem like they're doing it for peace, which is why we brought forth 1 Thessalonians 5,
Right.
because in the midst of peace talk, certain destruction is going to befall the whole world, because this devil, he was never given the ability to bring peace, man. All he's done is bring destruction, everywhere he's went.
Man,
so
got a precept to go along with you.
I got you real quick, and then just finish out the point. Just saying that Esau, he's fooling you by these talks, man. All right, he's not really trying to bring forth peace. So the Lord is really setting this up for his great downfall. You got it, bro.
Just to add to you, you can speak on it. Psalms 55 and verse 20. He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart.
Yeah, and war is in his heart, man, because like we said, he's trying to literally, first and foremost, kill off millions of people, because he has said that he'd rather, keep the population to a degree where he can control them. But ultimately, he's trying to do this to bring forth, that control over the world, which is going to introduce that MOTB. But, tying it back to what we're talking about, the Lord is really having all this take place in that area so he can set up him to get that okie doke, which is going to be that destruction, man. When he returns, and all these nations are going to be in one area for him to destroy them at once, man. Yep. So finish it out, Psalm 83 and 4. It said, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. Because if you notice in these Davos talks, why is there not a seat for the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American man? We're nowhere in these talks. It's only the so-called elites of the world, man. These world leaders.
Right.
They have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. It says the tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites, of Moab and the Hagarenes, Gabal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines and the inhabitants of Tyre, Assur also is joined with them. They have holpen the children of Lot, Selah, which is going into the other 18 nations that's on the earth, man. All right, they're all in one accord to come against, the children of Israel, because that's ultimately what this is for, man, to wipe us out as a nation, man.
So World War III is going to be used as that sacrifice to, to depop. Let's say it like that.
Yes.
So anyway, where were we at?
We was in Joel 3 and 3. Now, do you want to keep going? Or you want to jump to verse 9?
Let's jump to verse 9.
Okay. So back in Joel 3 and 9, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up.
Yeah, so this is what's happening. All right. The Lord has put the spirit of war out here on these nations, man. Right? He's riled these kings of the world up, the kings of the east, like it tells you in Revelation 16, man. So right now, the energy that's in the earth is war, nuclear destruction. Okay. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, the heathen nations, prepare war. Wake up the mighty man, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Go ahead.
It says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong.
Right. So now we see North Korea, China, all right, Russia, who else? India. All right. We see various countries that have nuclear capability now.
Yep.
Right. Go ahead.
Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord.
Right. So the angels are in the midst, right? They're working on the minds of the kings of the earth, man. All right, to enact this World War III. It's going down, Jake.
Yep.
Okay, go ahead.
Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Yahweh-Shaphat. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about.
You see that, like the priest said earlier. So it said, let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Yahweh-Shaphat, right? And it said, the Lord said, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Okay, this was all going down. And now I remember, I want to say at least a month ago, right? They were already talking about, translating the armies out here into this region, right?
Yeah.
Different nations already have, troops on the ground or whatnot, troops ready to go in this region here, man. Right? So anyway, going back. And that's where he's going to judge. That's where Yahweh Shema Shah is going to judge all the nations round about.
And that's why it's letting you know that the Lord is setting the chessboard up right now, man.
Right.
Because he's putting all the nations in place where he wants them. So when Yahweh Shah makes his grand return, everybody's where they're supposed to be at, man.
Right.
So everything is falling right into prophecy.
Right. Yeah. Prophecy is in sync with real time. Go ahead.
This is what needs to be. This and the MOTB are the two hot topics that we're supposed to be talking about, man.
Right. Because look, it's happening all simultaneously.
Revelation 19 and 10.
You know, we it's like neck and neck right now, man. It's like right there, right? This is how you know we're literally at the door.
Yeah. Because this shows you the times that we're in, man, which lets you know that we're almost here. This is why, hey, brothers should be on fire on this thing right now, man. You know, the MOTB and World War III are the two main things that brothers should be talking about, man.
Yes, it's going down, man. You got it.
I put a precept for you.
Yeah, get your precept. Go ahead.
Revelation chapter 19 and verse 10. And I fell at his feet to worship him. And he said unto me, see thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant, and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahweh Shai. Worship Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, for the testimony of Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy.
And not to, get off subject, but this is how you know the true prophets from what they're speaking about, man, because the spirit of the Lord will have his prophets speaking about these two topics that we're talking about, man, the MOTB and World War III, because these prophecies are the two keys to let you know that we're almost out of here, man. And these would be the main things that we're to warn about, man. What is the MOTB? All right. And why is World War III happening? Because you got guys that's saying that World War III is not going to happen. Like, you had Zelensky at the Golden Globe Awards talking about World War III is not going to happen. But prophecy says otherwise, man. Sure. Why this title alone lets you know that, man, that this is happening, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The meeting point, man.
Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 8. Therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord Yahweh, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation,
man,
even all my fierce anger. For all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. So just to add to the point is what Priest was saying, you got these elitists on these panel discussions trying to pretty much say that there's an alternative to war, right? But ultimately the prophecy is that the Lord is the Lord's determination to gather the heathen all together in the valley of Yahweh Shaphat.
That's his will.
Mm-hmm.
You brought it out earlier, Proverbs 21. He's putting it on the minds of the kings of the world, all these world leaders, to pretty much be gathered together for that final battleground, man.
Sure.
Because the meeting point battleground, it's the same thing at this point, Mm-hmm. But going back to Joel 3 and 13, it says, put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe.
The harvest is ripe. It's time to reap. Go ahead.
Come, get ye down, for the press is full, the fats overflow, for the wickedness is great. Multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision.
Right, and it says in my sword, it says numbers on top of numbers for judgment, man. Right? Which is what, 2/3, okay, Esau and these heathen, okay? Multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, is near in the valley of decision, man, right? It's about to take off, okay? Go ahead, Al.
It says, the sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord also shall roar out of Zion, and utter his voice from Jerusalem, and the heavens and the earth shall shake. But the Lord will be the hope of his people, and the strength of the children of Israel.
Yeah, the great and terrible day of the Lord is coming, man. Go ahead, Al.
It says,
read the 19.
Verse 17. So shall ye know.
Finish the chapter, Salakia. Finish the chapter, Salakia.
It says, so shall ye know that I am the Lord your power, dwelling in Zion, my holy mountain. Then shall Jerusalem be holy, and there shall no strangers pass through her anymore.
Right. You ain't gonna have no Amalekites over there. You ain't gonna have no Ishmaelites, no Hamites, no Elamites dwelling in the land. All right. Pursuing to what's that? Luke the 21st chapter, until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. Right? Because Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is gonna come and he's going to destroy these heathen out of the land. He's going to cleanse. Hey, the land of Israel is going to get cleansed too.
That's right.
Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass in that day that the mountains shall drop down new wine, and the hills shall flow with milk, and all the rivers of Judah shall flow with waters, and a fountain shall come forth out of the house of the Lord, and shall water the valleys of Shittim.
Yeah, that's the blessings of the kingdom. Judah will be blessed. All of Israel will be blessed. The splendor of the kingdom. Go ahead.
Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness, for the violence against the children of Judah, because they have shed innocent blood in their land.
Right. Now, what's heavy is that it says Egypt should be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness, because Egypt, Edom, Babylon, all right, America, Mount Seir, all right, these are all synonymous. Idumea is all synonymous with Esau, Edom, okay, Basra.
Yep.
Okay, this is all tied to Esau, Edom. He's going to be utterly destroyed, all right, for the violence against the children of Judah, because they have shed innocent blood in their land, right? So the scriptures that we read earlier, this is the vengeance of the Lord's temple.
That's right. That's right.
You know, all nations are being gathered up to be destroyed. Can I add one more real quick before we go to Ezekiel 38? Right? Isaiah 34. Let's read through this real quick. Whoever want to read.
This is Isaiah chapter 34. Isaiah 34 and verse 1. Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein.
Right. So this word is going throughout the earth. Everybody's hearing this message. All right. This is Yahweh Shem Shah's wrath against the nations. World War III. Go ahead, Ak.
The world and all things that come forth of it.
Yep.
For the indignation of the Lord Yahweh is upon all nations.
Upon all nations. The indignation of Yahweh Shem Shah is upon all nations. We just read that. You brought out the scripture. Was that in Zephaniah 3 and 9? 3 and 8. Right? He said, my determination was to what? To gather the nations. He's going to judge them round about. Go ahead, Ak.
And his fury upon all their armies.
Whoo, see? And his fury upon all their armies. That's World War III. That's all these nations' militaries that are being gathered up, that are going to be burned. Go ahead.
He hath utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter.
These armies have been delivered to the slaughter. All right. Heavy. Go ahead.
Verse 3. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of the carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood.
And the mountains shall be melted with their blood. All right. So, hey, these nations are going to get demolished by those missiles, man. That lets you know it's going to be mass casualties. It said their slain shall also be cast out, and the stink shall come up out of their carcasses. All right. It's going to be mass death. Go ahead.
Verse 4. And all the host of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down, as the leaf falleth off from the vine,
Yeah.
and as a falling fig from the fig tree.
Yeah, that's the mushroom cloud.
Verse 5. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea, and upon the people of my curse to judgment.
The Idumeans, all right? The Edomites. The Lord said his sword shall be bathed in heaven. That's the missiles. Behold, it shall come down. Those warheads are going to come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment, all right? The curse shall be in the house of the wicked. Proverbs 3 and 33. Go ahead.
Verse 6. The sword of the Lord Yahweh is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For the Lord Yahweh hath a sacrifice in Basra.
Right. It's a great sacrifice is going to happen in Basra, America, Babylon. Go ahead.
Who is this that come with dyed garments from Basra?
That's right.
And a great slaughter in the land of Idumea.
Right. It's going to be a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. All right. America, man. This is what's coming. Right? There's no stopping. There's no offsetting the prophecies. Go ahead, Ak.
Verse 7, and the unicorns shall come down with them, and the bullocks with the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood, and their dust made fat with fatness. Verse 8, for it is the day of the Lord Yahweh's vengeance, and the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion.
See that? It is the Lord Yahweh Shemashah's vengeance in the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion. Once again, the vengeance of the Lord's temple. This is all being done for his people, Israel, you so-called Negroes, Latino, Native Americans, Hispanics. All right. You Israelite foreigners out there that subscribe and that believe in the doctrine. All right. This is happening throughout the earth for you. Right. Hey, the Lord never forgot his people. It told us that in Jeremiah. Matter of fact, let me get that real quick. Matter of fact, finish verse 9. I'll get that point in Jeremiah 51.
God. Verse 9, and the streams thereof shall be turned into pitch, and the dust thereof into brimstone, and the land thereof shall become burning pitch.
And the land thereof shall become burning pitch. Right? That's the prophecy. All right. Like I said, the Lord didn't forget his people. Let's get that in that's Jeremiah 51 real quick. Right? I think it's Jeremiah 51 and 6. Right? See? Babylon judged for sins against Israel. Heavy. Whoo, can't get around it. This place is about to get rewarded. Right? Reward unto her double, the scriptures say.
That's
But this is Jeremiah 51. And I'm gonna just read 5 through 6. The point is in 5. Jeremiah 51 and 5, it says, for Israel have not been forsaken, nor Judah of his power. You see that? The Lord didn't forget us. Of the Lord, let's read it again. For Israel have not been forsaken, nor Judah of his power, of the Lord, Yahweh Shemashah of hosts, though their land was filled with sin against the Holy One of Israel. Right? Verse 6. Flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity. For this is the time of the Lord's Yahweh Shemashah's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense, a reward, a judgment. Right? So this is the time that you flee out of Babylon. All right? That you repent, that you put off the Western way. All right? That you come out of this Americanized mindset. All right? Verse 7, it says, Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord Yahweh Shemashah's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. All right. So this place is being reserved unto the ultimate destruction, man. All right. Which is the point. All right. So let's go to that. You had anything else? You want to go to Ezekiel 38?
You said you wanted to finish out, Joel. We had like 2 more verses. You were good with that.
Yeah. Let's finish that out. Salaki. Right. Let's go back to that was Joel, the third chapter.
We stopped at 19. Yeah, 3 and 19. I can read back at 19.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm going back now.
Yeah, Joel 3 and 19. Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness, for the violence against the children of Israel. It's like the children of Judah, because they have shed innocent blood in their land. But Judah shall dwell forever, and Jerusalem from generation to generation. Yeah, because Esau is trying to bring in this new world order ultimately to kill off all the Israelites, man.
Okay.
Like we said, man, the Lord, like Scripture says, Salakia, the Lord say he's not going to fully do away with the the children of Israel, man. All right, he's going to preserve his elect, the remnant. Yeah, it says, "For I will cleanse their blood that I have not cleansed, for the Lord dwelleth in Zion."
That's right. Let's go to Ezekiel 38. All right, because everything ties into what? The gathering. Okay? Everything is tied to the gathering. The nations are being gathered up. All right. Remember the title of the video we went into, right? The Middle East, meeting point or battleground. That's the meeting point of the battle. Right? Yep. If you got eyes, let them see, and ears, let them hear.
Yep.
Right? You got it out.
You got
Yeah, I can read. This is Ezekiel chapter 38, verse 1. And the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against them.
Yeah, that would be the region of where Russia is and the surrounding regions today. All right, let's pull it back up.
Yeah, East. That's Esau, man. Because you got niggas saying that's Japhet. Esau occupies that land right now, man.
Exactly.
That was originally Japhet's land, but Esau drove him out. Now he's in that land now, so that's Esau, the so-called Russians, man.
All right, the Edomite Russians, right? As you can see, as I blew it up here, right? Matter of fact, we're gonna read on, and I'll keep this in the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 3. And say, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh with power, because I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords.
Yeah, them ICBMs, man. The Lord turned Russia back into a powerhouse, man.
Yeah.
All right. And now we're in the times where Russia no longer wants to be diplomatic with America. Everything now is just straight up war.
Yeah.
Threats, you know?
Because America been pushing. They've been poking the bear, man.
Yep.
You know, you've been on the outskirts of their land. You know, this is why the whole Ukraine Russia war is going on, because you was trying to get in Russia's back door when they told you to back off, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. NATO kept expanding their forces into Russia's backyard, you know, and Russia was like, fuck that, you know. How are you going to build a nuclear defense right in the backyard? Because it was all about who was going to strike who first.
Yeah. You
know?
wanted to set up pretty much a blockade all around Russia to where you had to jump on them. When the Mossad put that USSR spirit back on Russia to where they ready to buck up, man.
Right.
You know, because they really they was trying to reclaim Ukraine, because that was originally part of Russia, the USSR, the Soviet Union.
Right.
You know, NATO was trying to make them a part of them, which would have been detrimental to Russia, man.
That's right.
That's those hooks
Mm-hmm.
get put in the jaw. You know, the bear was slumbering, and now the bear is wide awake.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
Poked them.
looking at the chops.
That's it.
Verse 5. Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them.
Hey, Persia, as we see here, Persia, Iran, the Iranians, Ethiopia, right?
Yep.
Libya.
Yep.
Okay. All of them, we'll say Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet, right? Go ahead, Op.
Verse 6. Gomer and all his bands.
Mm-hmm.
The house of Togarma of the north quarters and all his bands.
Mm-hmm. Turkey. Right? Go ahead.
And all of his bands and many people with thee.
Yep. Go ahead.
Verse 7. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself thou, and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them.
Yeah, so Russia is going to protect, Iran, the Persians. You got these nations that have made their alliances with Russia.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Verse 8. After many days thou shalt be visited. In the latter years thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword, and is gathered out of many people against the mountains of Israel, which have been always waste.
Yeah, which have been always waste since 70 AD. All right, because Israel is going to get hit too. It's part of that region of the Middle East. Right? That's why, going back real quick, that's why they're getting ready. Right? Massive maneuvers. America launches largest ever show of force with Israeli military. All right? Joint military drills. After showing off its most powerful helicopter, man. Okay? America and Israel are allies. The least of the flock shall draw them out. Right? Go ahead, Ak.
But it is brought forth out of the nations, and they shall dwell safely, all of them.
Go ahead.
Verse 9. Thou shalt ascend and come like a storm. Thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land. Thou and all thy bands and many people with thee.
Right, because hey, eventually Israel is going to get invaded, man. Go ahead.
Verse 10. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh power, it shall also come to pass, that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought.
All right, what is the evil thought, man? Hey, missiles are going to get sent on Babylon, man. They're going to get sent on Babylon and the land of Israel, various parts of the earth, right? Go ahead.
And thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. I will go.
Yeah, that's America. That's America. All right. People are comfortable, you know, unwalled villages. They're not protected.
Nope.
Right? They're wide open to be taken. Go ahead.
I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls and having neither bars nor gates.
Yeah, you see, people are comfortable, no protection, no worries, right? The unwalled villages. Go ahead.
Verse 12. To take a spoil and to take a prey, to turn thine hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited, and upon the people that are gathered out of the nations, which have gotten cattle and goods, that dwell in the midst of the land.
Yeah, so these American cities are going to get destroyed, right? They're going to be hit. Isaiah 47:1. Sit on the throne, sit on the ground. There is no throne, right? You should not you won't be regarded no more as tender and delicate.
Yeah.
Right? Because the average American thinks that we're not going to see war, that America's not going to get invaded, go to war. Like the video that went viral, you had that proud ass Edomite, you know, America's not going to get touched, right? It's never going to fall 20 years, many years ahead, you know, because they got this outstanding army and weapon capability and all that shit. He ain't reading the prophecies.
Man, and Esau has, well, these Americans have noticed that you've been seeing Russian ships on the border of California. You know, they said there's Russian troops already here in America. You got the sleeper agents or whatnot, man. So America is really ripe for the taking now.
Right.
You know? So it's only a matter of time for this shit really pops off, man.
Exactly.
That's it.
Man, if you got Issachar being able to hop across the fence, you already know Russia on 10.
Right.
Right.
Like America isn't prepared to deal with that problem, that invasion.
Right.
They could barely even, gather themselves for the border at the south.
Right.
How much when they got to deal with the forces internally and coming from the north, the south, the east, the west. It's going to be too much for them to even try and handle.
Facts.
Yeah. Yep.
Verse 13.
That was the point. That was it.
Okay.
That's pretty much the point, you know. That's pretty much the lesson because we just wanted to get straight to the point. All right, that this is the meeting point of the battleground. This is the prophecy. All the nations are going to be gathered here. All right, the so-called Middle East. All right. You know, all these nations represent the Middle East. All right. Iraq, Israel. All right. What else? Egypt. Shalakia. Lebanon, Saudi Arabia, Syria, Turkey, United Arab Emirates, Pakistan, all right, and so on and so forth. This is that region, all right.
Which is
just wanted to make that clear. What you say, Priest?
I say this is just letting you know that World War III is coming out a quick one.
You got
Revelation 11 and 14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly.
That's it.
So yeah, man. Hey, we right here at the door, man. All right. Hey, we're one event away from World War III finally being declared, official.
Right.
Because all these proxy wars and the propaganda, this all is just to pretty much keep it from being mainstream. But we're gonna get to a point to where because boots are on the ground now. All right. You got the the economy, and all that. But we're going to get to a point where it's going to be officially declared World War III is here.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes. Yep. Tazwan, you have something?
Yeah, I just got a quick precept.
You got it. Go ahead.
Tie in that first video. Proverbs 21:30. There is no wisdom nor understanding nor counsel against the Lord Yahweh. So these devils are trying to, counsel against each other and try and divert prophecy, right? But the will of the Lord is for these things to come to pass.
That's right.
Verse
That's right.
31. The horse is prepared against the day of battle, but safety is of the Lord. And when you look up that word safety, another word for that is victory.
Mm.
So ultimately, these devils, they ultimately know what's going to come to pass is Yahweh Shai's return. And they're going to try and, fight against the angels, the host of angels in Yahweh Shai, right? But ultimately, the victory is already written for Israel and for these heathen nations to go down.
And that's why they've been trying their hardest to stave off World War III. Biden said it, Putin said it, but they know that this World War III is the war to end all wars. And they know, according to prophecy, that after World War III, that's the end of them. That's the end of their hegemony, man. The end of their rulership. So they're trying their hardest to try to, push it off. But the Lord, Flocky, the Lord is stirring these things up to where they're having no choice but to be led into this, man.
That's it. I'm just gonna add on to what you said, because we know according to prophecy who exactly is the end of the world, right?
Yeah.
So let's pull that out. All right.
Yep.
2 Ezra 6:9. And it reads, 2 Ezra 6:9, it says, for Esau is the end of the world. All right. We are approaching the end of his realm, his age, his rulership. All right. His power, his hegemony. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, right? And this is what they're trying to prevent. They're trying to prevent the kingdom of heaven from being established. They're trying to prevent World War III from happening, but it's going to go down. It's all part of the will of the Lord, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the point is that there will be no global stability, man. Okay. The Lord's will be fulfilled, man.
Mm-hmm.
Prophecy will come to pass. The Middle East, the meeting point of the battleground of prophecy, man. All right. This is where it's going to go down. This region here. Right. So, hey, we pray that you were edified in this lesson. All right. Just stay tuned to prophecy, the news, and all of that, man. All right. We're at the end of this thing, Romans 13:11. Our salvation is nearer than we believe.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So, this is kind of what stuck out to us. This is why we wanted to, edify with this material here. Hope it was received. You brothers got any last words? That's it. All right. Well, look.
Continue to watch and pray.
Continue to watch and pray, man. Luke 21:36, that we all be worthy to stand before the Son of Man and escape all these things that shall come to pass.
Hasten
right?
the Lord's coming, man. This is just signs that Yahweh Shai is on his way, man.
That's right.
That's it. Beautiful. Hey, well, with that, we pray that this lesson was edifying. This live lesson was edifying. We're going to close it out by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh. Hey, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught us this truth. Double salutations to all you Akim out there laboring in the house of David, the elect, that's pushing this word with all truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Shalom to you, brothers.
Shalom.
Shalom.
All you sincere believers out there, hey, shalom. Beautiful.